Haters love to make fun of my minivan. They get a charge out of it. They get this big high out of making fun of that I drive a minivan. Okay, I've had nice cars in my life. Before I was married, before I had kids, I had a Mercedes, like a AMG package. And you know what? You know what I learned? It was the E class. It was like E500. I learned that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I would drive. I was driving in Brooklyn. I had my Benz, and it's just gets you from point A to point B. The only difference, it costs more money. there's no difference. That's it. You know what I mean? So cars to me got to a point where I don't really like. Some people have a very big love of cars, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But I would rather have cash, and I would rather have gold and silver and precious metals. Like, for instance, where we have a large amount of money that we're expecting, me and my family, regarding my wife, God bless her. Okay, but the thing is, I could go out and probably buy a Bentley. I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? I'm going to buy gold. I'm going to buy precious metals. This is what we decided as a family, me and my wife. We're going to keep a lot of cash liquid. You know what look, this is how I feel about cars, and it's the same thing how I feel about boats. Okay, I'm going to tell you the same thing. When you get to a point, and I'm not at that, I'm going to admit the truth to you, I'm not at that point yet. When you get to a point where you have so much effing money, like I'm talking about, you're rolling like in money. You're like, roll with it, baby. You and me got to roll with it, baby. I'm talking about you're like huge. You got big bucks. 10 million, 20 million. You're a player. You know what I mean? You want to go out and spend $150,000 on a car. It makes sense. It makes sense because, first of all, it's a depreciating asset. It's a depreciating asset. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's going to lose like $10,000, $15,000 in value. And then obviously the mileage you're putting on the car and the wear and the tear over a number of years, the car is going to be worth a significant amount less. Okay, so it's not a good investment. Neither is a boat. A boat is not a good investment. You know what I mean? The upkeep on it is insane. The docking fees are insane. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? And again, it's a depreciating asset, wear and tear, so on and so forth. So these are what's called trophy assets. Like, they're called luxury assets. This is, once again, people who have extra money that don't mind. And I would probably be in the same ballpark. You want to know the truth? Like, I plan on becoming very successful in my life. I plan, especially within the next year or two, I plan on becoming very successful. And there's probably going to be a point where I get that Bentley or whatever it is I get, you know what I mean? Or I get a boat. Yeah, it's going to probably happen, but not now. Not now. Why would I take money that my wife had to suffer for? Okay, again, God bless her. And buy a boat and buy a car. Nah, it's not going to happen. That's money that will be inherited by our children. And that's it. And my father felt the same way. My father made a lot of money in his life. And, he wanted his grandchildren to have that money for their future, their education, their lives. And, he could have just said, you know what, let me go buy my son a Bentley, which would never happen, right? But I'm just saying, so I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a nice car, but if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, if you're doing it because you have low self-esteem, you think, that you need a car to make you more of a man, to make you more of an illusion of success, then you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. But if you have the money and you could afford a luxury toy, fine. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Can you really afford it? Can you really afford it? Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq, one time made a video saying that the first $1 million that he made, I know this is a great video. He said he bought himself a Mercedes. Like, it was ridiculous, like S600 or something. And he came home and his father was like, that's a nice car. I want one. And he bought his father one. Then his mother said, that's a beautiful car. I want one. So it was told by him that he spent his first million that he's ever earned in his life in like one day. He just bought 3 cars. So the question is, yeah, he got them, But at that time in his life, could he really afford? No, he couldn't. And he admits it himself that it was stupid. It was dumb. He said, no, it was really dumb. But now, I mean, the gigantic, enormous success that he's become in his life, that guy could buy 1,000 Mercedes. But the thing is that at the time, he really, really couldn't afford it. Okay, so do you see the difference? That's all I'm saying. And for the people who keep abusing me with this minivan, I have to keep saying the same thing. My minivan is paid off in full. There's no note on my car. No note. It's got 2 TVs. My kids love it. On the back, they're playing games, watching movies. Okay, it's still pretty low mileage. It drives great. Gets me from point A to point B. Gets me to the restaurants. Gets me to the supermarket to get a lot of food. That's my true passion is food. That's where I spend my fun coupons. But the thing is, I'd rather spend it on food than a car. I mean, any car you have, ultimately, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to get you from point A to point B. It doesn't matter if it's a Mercedes, it's a Lamborghini, it's a minivan. It's going to get you from point A to point B. But when you put your lips on those porterhouse steaks, those prime rib steaks, a big Italian dinner at Zano's or L&B Spumoni Gardens, to me, that's luxury. That's living, baby. That's living life to the fullest. But anyway, just wanted to make a video on that. I bet these people who keep abusing me don't even have $25,000. Like, they're like, oh, you driving a minivan? Minivan! Okay. They don't even have $25,000 invested. These losers. But look, you can say whatever you want. My wife loves the car. My children love the car. My mom loves the minivan. I love it. And you know what? In time, when I become a really big success and I got money to burn, money to just throw around, yeah, I'll get myself an insane Rolls Royce or something one day, okay? It will happen. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am an entertainer.